I'm going to show you how to stitch a stem stitch centre on your loomed flower. I like to use a different colour to stitch the centre of my flowers, but if you want to use the same colour, take the end of the yarn that you used to wind your flower's petals, thread it on a needle and put it to the back of your flower, and you'll be ready to start. If you're not going to use the same colour, put both of the ends of your yarn to the wrong side. And tie them neatly in a knot. You'll be undoing that knot later to stitch them in, or you can leave it if you want to. Take roughly 3 feet of the yarn that you want to use to stitch the centre. The amount that you actually need will depend on how thick your yarn is, how many layers your flower has, and how many times you're going to stitch around. Bring the yarn up from the back between 2 petals and pull through, leaving about 4 to 6 inches on the back. Put your yarn down in the next gap on the left. Come back up where you started and make that into a little knot. Stem stitch looks really nice stitched over the top of a round of back stitch, which I've shown you how to do in a video already, or you can just use it on its own. If you do it over the top of a round of back stitch, it will give you a more graphic look, it will be bolder. So to start stitching your stem stitch, miss the first gap and go down through the second one. You'll be stitching over 2 petals at a time. Bring the yarn up through the gap in the middle of that stitch. Over the top of 1, 2 petals and down. Pull quite tightly as you go too. If a stitch is loose, you can just pull it. Back up in the middle of the stitch you just made, and then over 2. Up in the middle, and over 2. Keep doing that all the way around. I've gone all the way around my flower, but you can see that the top stitch doesn't look the same as the rest. To finish that one off, come back between the petals of your last stitch and put the needle under the first stitch and through to the back. And you've completed a round of stem stitch in the middle of your flower. You can darn the ends of your yarn in the back now, as I showed you in the tutorial on how to do a back stitch centre, but you can continue doing as many rounds as you like. I sometimes like to do rounds in colours from light to dark or dark to light, and it gives a nice shaded effect in the centre. I'm going to take this off the loom and show you how it looks. And there you have a flower with a simple stem stitch centre. Here are a range of flowers made with stem stitch centres, and I'll show you how to do all of these techniques in future videos.